Living costs soaring, petrol prices soaring, mortgages soaring, inflation soaring, wages remaining the same. Australian families have never had it so hard. Consequently, mums are feeling the pressure to get back to work.
But for women who've spent years at home with the kids, the prospect of stepping back into the corporate jungle is daunting, to say the least. If there was ever a person to inspire us to take on this challenge, it would have to be business training entrepreneur and high school dropout, Kylie Bartlett. Good morning, Kylie.
Hello, Kylie.
Good morning.
You know, when you dropped out at year 11.
Oh, look, I successfully dropped out in year 12, so I have a year 11 education.
Oh, okay, you're right. Then you ran away from home. Did you have a plan? Did you know that you would succeed?
No, I didn't actually. I was just living day by day and felt a bit misunderstood at school and put into that too hard basket. I was told that I had a bit of a learning disability, and as it turned out, it was really more of a self-belief disability. So I just ran and didn't know where I was going. If I got up in the morning and I was still alive, well, that was as bad as far as it went.
Sorry, I was just going to say, but then you became successful. I mean, you started a cafe, as I understand it.
Yes, cafe and training company, yes.
That's a big leap.
It is. But the thing that hasn't changed is I always had the energy. It was just directed in having a chip on my shoulder, being a rebel. It was more about I was in pain, and so I was using it in the wrong area for the dark side. And so when I could harness it and turn it around, the energy was still there, and putting it into positive outcomes rather than negative, hence the success that came with that.
Well, look, you didn't mess around either. I mean, from when you ran away from home with a couple $100 in your pocket, I think, to when you opened the cafe, it was only a 3-year period. So at what point did you suddenly learn to turn that around and take the chip off and harness it in the right direction?
Bumps and scratches and scars and feeling very frustrated and lonely, extremely annoyed with why was I dealt such a bad blow or a troubled blow. So I had that whole woe is me victim mentality, and I met a number of successful people that had the courage and the arrogance to sit me down and say, listen here, it doesn't have to be like that, it doesn't have to be so hard. Think about what you could do if you harnessed your energy and put it into something good.
Which successful business people did you? It was just along the way?
I'm a Geelong girl, born and bred, 6th generation Geelong girl, and I managed to get a job as a teller in Pyramid Building Society, can you believe it?
Oh, yeah.
So some of my branch managers...
Which went bust,
went bust, and as a Geelong girl, there I go again. But I got 14 transfers in 12 months, and I thought they were just learning opportunities. No one could work with me. Customers couldn't work with me. So I had managers sitting me down saying, got all the energy, you've got the potential, just putting it in the wrong area.
See, well, this is the point, isn't it? You see, I would have figured that you had this gumption. See, there are mums out there that now are feeling the pressure to get back into work.
Yes.
But they're frightened of making that move, you know. Where do they turn to get that inspiration to just go, right, here I go?
They need a boost, they need a kickstart, and they need a support network of like-minded mums that have succeeded. A lot of them are hearing the negative stories and the employers that are exploiting them, and childcare's hard, but it is successful. You can do it. I've got a little 8-year-old Lachlan and managed to have a great life as well as work, but it's mixing in a network of people that are going to support and nurture you through it, that it's the self-confidence and the self-esteem. A lot of our issues stem from the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And so a lot of mums are looking at those yummy mummies. They're wondering, can I stack up? Do I even have the right wardrobe? Do I know how to use a computer? What's all this Facebook and MySpace? And they're all overwhelmed. They don't know where to start, and they need a group or an organisation that can hold their hand and give them a kickstart into it.
What is it? I mean, you're a mum. I've spent time at home with the kids too, and, you know, particularly after having my first babies.
Yes.
You know, I remember being quite anxious about going back to work, and I was only off for 5 months, and, you know, I was really anxious, thinking, gosh, can I do it again?
It's like a treadmill. You know, you're at the gym running on a treadmill, and it's like you jump off it, but there's no stop button on that treadmill. And how do I jump on it and feel that I'm going to be able to hit the ground running? But also that's that guilt, that playground guilt, knowing that I need to go back to work, or I want to, but what are the other mums going to say? And so there's a lot of that going on as well.
We're a
bit hard on each other, I think.
We are.
Well, yeah, and we talk about this a lot on the program, and a lot of mums probably want to find that balance where they want to go back to work, and they need to go back to work to get the income coming in.
Or they choose to, you know.
Or they choose to, yeah. They want the choice, but they may not want to do it for the whole week, so they want some flexibility.
Exactly.
Are employers or bosses keen for
More than keen, David.
Do they recognise
Yes.
that there is skill and ability there?
The reason why I developed and designed and launched Quantum Mums is I've spent 10 years mentoring and training corporates, and the biggest challenge that is being faced in Australia at the moment is talent. There's a massive skill shortage, talent shortage, unemployment sitting at 4%, and employers are now recognising that they need to get clever with how they go about attracting and retaining talent. They now know that mums make great employees, they're loyal, they're dedicated, they're patient, they understand conflict resolution, they're great time managers, but they don't necessarily want to climb the corporate ladder. They want to come in, do a really good job, and then go home and be a great parent and a great wife.
Yeah, they want a job that actually works with their life. So how do you get the job that works with your life?
We've got employers that are coming to us and asking how can we start to be flexible and creative with offering job share or working around the childcare hours and starting to encourage the mums to come out and give it a go. So there are employers, we've got employers that are registered with us that we call our sponsors that are saying, mums, we want you, we need you, come and work with us.
I would imagine that one of the impediments, the hiccups would be that there are some mums out there that have skill. You know, had a previous corporate life, have skill, and they're now going back and they've got babies, but they want a flexible working arrangement.
Yeah, they don't want to go back to 100 hours a week.
They're probably thinking, well, I'm sort of almost too skilled.
Yes.
How do I adapt to a job that's got doesn't
They don't
require
want the
as
pressure,
much?
so they don't want the responsibility. Like, we've got some mums that are lawyers and accountants, and they're saying, I don't want to go back into my profession, I do want to work, but I'm worried about how do I skill myself now in downsizing? How do I come down to be a receptionist? And so that's why at Quantum Mums we've put together our Back to Work boot camps, giving them the edge and giving them the assistance in how to tackle some of those issues that they're facing.
OK, we're looking at some of the top job tips for mums. And of course, you need to decide what sort of job you want at first, don't you?
Well, it's about what do you want, being very clear. Do you want part-time, full-time, casual, temp? But I think just as importantly, it's what don't you want? You're not night shift, not weekend work. I don't want to have to travel. I want it to be around childcare hours. So being very clear on what you don't want as well.
But how forceful can you be? I mean, another tip there is what does the ideal job need to offer? How forceful can you be? Can you actually go to an employer and say, now, here's what I'm really after? Are they responsive to that?
David, unemployment's at 4%. They're in need. They're sitting in the hot seat. There are jobs out there. There's currently about 220,000 jobs available and not the people to fill them. Mums need to understand they have got the power. They're in need.
Are you kidding me? Have we got the power
We've
back?
got the power. Power to perform. That's
good
us.
Lord.
Look out.
But, I mean, you believe that mums actually make the best employees.
I do.
Why? Because there are plenty of mums sitting at home going, oh, I've been at home for, 2 months, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, going, well, what do I have to contribute? I've been looking after kids for the last 2 years.
In my previous business, I had 15 staff, 13 mums, and it worked beautifully. They're loyal, they go that extra yard. What they also do in corporate world is they become the mum within the organisation. So they tame the Gen Ys down. They then go in and talk to the baby boomers on behalf of the Generation Y, so they become a great mediator. And they don't want to climb the ladders, so the Gen Ys aren't threatened by them, and the baby boomers can relate to them. So they're in absolute demand because they're not out there about their egos.
Yes, yeah, our office is full of young mums.
Yep. And there's lots of job sharing going on.
Lots of job sharing.
You
And there's
got it.
exactly that vibe in that
Beautiful.
office,
Yeah.
And it's interesting too, isn't it? Because I think young mums fail to recognise the skill that motherhood has brought
Tremendous
them,
skill.
and then you put that into job speak or job seek speak and stick that in your resume,
You
don't
got
you?
it, and this is why we've put our boot camps together to actually train the mums, assist them in how to get motherhood skills and transfer them into business
Okay,
skills.
boot camp sounds like it hurts. Can you just kind of go through this?
Mental workout. We're not going to get you to lift tyres above your head in the sand, but what we are going to do is put you through a mental workout. So we start with the self-esteem.
I think that's much more challenging.
Yeah, I agree. But it's not just the boot camp, it's then the journey begins afterwards. Then the mums become a part of a support network. We put them in touch with family-friendly employers and we offer mentoring and coaching, additional computer training, resume writing, right down to image, presentation skills to hold their hand through the transition and don't just train them up and then put them out in the big wide world and hope that they survive.
Yeah.
But I bet you must find that there are so many of these mums that just have every good reason not to step forward.
Oh, and they're hearing it. They're hearing with their friends that they have coffee with. I went to employer A. They said they would be flexible and they're not. I'm never going to try that again. So they're being surrounded by people that have had negative experiences. We want to protect the mums and show them that it's not all like that and they are in great demand.
And I also think too that mums need to point out, look, I'm doing this job and I'm clearly motivated to be out there looking for a job. So clearly you've got motivation, you've got determination, you've got all of those things already going for you. But it's not necessarily a bad thing for women to actually headline it to an employer. These are the things that I'm after, and I realise it mightn't suit you, but this is what I need.
But when do women stand up and sell themselves like that? You know, it's got to be a team effort as well. At home, you've got to involve the family also to make sure happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
You know, so that sometimes the women think, oh, I'm going to be neglecting my child or my husband. If you sit down as a family and work out what the family needs in order to pull this off.
And you did exactly that, didn't you?
Yes. Well, I did. My husband, we sat down and discussed, you're going to have to make some meals every now and then. You're going to have to take Lachlan to school. And at first he said, do I? And now he's whistling and singing as he's cooking, and it actually brought out a creative side that he never knew he had. So it can work,
Great.
But it's about giving it a go and working as a team.
Do you, just on that, do you think husbands, partners are daunted by the potential success of their partner?
Don't know. I think that's tradition. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the one that should be out there, you know, earning the dollars. But now with the interest rate rises and the mortgages going up, they're coming home and going, dear,
please,
I think that I need you to contribute if you want to keep the house or we want to have a nice holiday. Yeah. And the mums are saying, oh, I thought I had years to worry about that. And now they're having to do it like next week, and they're feeling very overwhelmed by that.
All right, now we have all sorts of details too of your training courses on our website, so if you'd like any information on mummy boot camps, then jump online. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.